question God. Some we do. Jesus questioned him when he was in the garden. So we question our spirituality, and it's okay to do that. But then just know that your faith sometimes brings you closer when you're going through a storm. Sometimes it brings you closer to God, and it brings you a source of comfort. So a lot of things do change when you lose a loved one. Your priorities change. And as you said, Rizal, your goals change, because now that future that you were planning with that person, you have to change everything. So not only are you grieving a loss, you also grieving a future that you had with that person that you thought you were going to have with that person.
That is so true. Cancer has came in and it has altered my life as well as other people's lives in a way that they never even dreamed of before. You thought that the happy ending would be yours for the taking, and out of nowhere, you get a monkey wrench thrown into the situation. But I always say there's a reason for everything, and we need to start searching. In every loss, there's a reason and why it happened. Look for the answers and not the hurt in the situation.
That's true. I think for everybody it's different. It's not a one-size-fit-all when you're grieving. Some people, like they said, it's a roller coaster. So grieving is not like a staircase. It's not like you going through each one after the other. Sometimes you go through them one after the other. Sometimes you come back full circle, and you may go through them again, or you may double back and go through the anger process, go through the bargaining process. So it's no one size fit all, and there's no time limit on when you grieve, and there's no right and wrong way to grieve. A lot of people would look at you and they say, some people say the darndest things. They like, you're not over that, or you need to do this or try this, to try to get you to, as they would say, pull you out of that. Because let's face it, some people can slip into a depression when you lose a loved one.
That's very true. Death has a way of putting life in perspective. It makes you think about what's really important and what's really irrelevant. Mm-hmm. It makes you focus on wanting to live and cherish every moment you can in this journey called life.
Yes.
The memories will never change. It's the people who do. Mm-hmm. And like I said, everything happens for a reason. And losing a person that you spend more than half your life with, it hurts to the core. But indeed, somewhere there's a brighter rainbow. It makes you a better person in some shape, form, or fashion, but you can't be stuck where you are, because no matter what you do, that person that you now lost, you can't change anything. There's no coming back from that. So the only thing you can do is start to begin to pick up the pieces and start fresh and start new, or moving in a new direction. That's just probably the way that it was meant to be.
Exactly. And I think some people, sometimes they feel guilty about moving on because of the love that you have for that person. But it's okay to think about them. It's okay to celebrate them. I think it gets a little scary when everything else around you is stopping and you're not continuing on with your daily routine. Some of the symptoms of grief, again, is anger. Some people have panic attacks. Some people are confused. They feel guilty. They feel loneliness, numbness. And some people are saddened and they're shocked. Those are just some of the emotional feelings that you go through. But you also have physical symptoms as well that you go through when you have grief. Some people have crying spells. You can have dizziness, a fast heartbeat. Some people have hallucinations. You have headaches. You get feel nauseated, shortness of breath. It's a lot of things that you go through. So that's why it's important. And we always talk about the support system when it comes to dealing with any type of illness. It's important to have those people around you so they can recognize these things and they can help breathe life back into you and pull you back so that you can get back on track. And it's, like I said, it's okay to grieve, but you got to have those people around you so that they can help keep you centered.
And that's very true. And, it's a hard job for the caregivers as well. Watching your loved one go through what they're going through, knowing that that's not truly who they are. And that change you see in them One of my guests, maybe a couple weeks ago, on my show on Giving That Life, she said she watched her husband as he went from being a 200 and something pound man to about 135 pounds.
Wow.
And that change, watching him just begin to spiral downhill, you never want to see your loved one go through that.
Exactly.
And then losing him, just maybe about 6 months ago, it's very hard when you lose someone that you spent more than half your life with. And the experience of it all, you feel like you can't go on. You're right. You feel as though that you're still there and that you're not something, you're cheating, but you're only cheating yourself.
That's true. And they said that some people who are caregivers that's taking care of someone with a long-term illness, they have what you call complicated grief, which can actually start while the loved one is still alive. So the caregivers, my hat goes off to them. They also undergo stress, and sometimes they don't have a way to relieve that stress because sometimes they're around the clock taking care of this person, and especially if they get the word that this person, the doctor's telling you they only have so many weeks or whatever to live. So you have to not only deal with that, you have to prepare yourself as well as prepare them for what's about to happen.
That's true, because you now leave your marriage or whatever you're in, you leave your marriage, and now you become in a relationship with pain.
Mm-hmm.
You become in a relationship with hurt. And that's what you look for. Those become your crutches. And that's all you know. Not knowing that now you're involved with ineffectiveness because you're stuck. You don't want to move forward. You're just sloping. You're down and out, and it happens. And truth be told, people always say, don't worry. In time, you'll get better. And really, you don't. They can say all what they say, and how can they even say if they've never been in the shoes of where you are?
Right.
They've never lost a spouse, so they can't say that it get better. It doesn't get better. It may get a little easier from time to time. You may not think about it 8 times a day. You may think about it 4 times a day as time go on, but it's still there. You're still hurt. You're still in pain, and it will always be there. You may start to do things to keep you busy, things that's going to keep you going, keep your mind off of it, but eventually you're going to relapse, especially when you're in that place by yourself and there's something to remind you of your loved one or your spouse, and it just happens that way. It is what it is.
That's true. The American Cancer Society say about 1 in 5 bereaved persons will develop major depression, which is called clinical depression. So it's important that, again, we are paying close attention to the people that are grieving. They mention, again, complicated grief. When you're going through, the person, they're feeling worthless, hopeless. You feel like you're not able to go on with your day-to-day activities. They may have extreme weight loss. They may be slow to respond. So some of these things we need to be paying attention to the people that are dealing with these type of diseases. It says if it's going on for more than 2 months after the loss, then they should be seeking professional help. And I know that with our culture, we don't like to seek professional help. But Rizal, when you was going through, was there any type of professional that you reached out to when you were going through?
Lady Shell, no, I didn't. And a lot of people suggested that I should, but I felt as though that I was strong enough to get through it myself, that I can overcome what has happened. And it did eat at me for days on end. Some days were better than others. I've had I still continue to have breakdowns here and there, but at the same token, I have breakthroughs. And as it seems still like yesterday, it's hard to digest, but I never sought anybody's help. I just talked to God, and I continue to talk to my wife. And some days I'll slip into, I think I slip into that depression of what you're talking about, but I come back. I shake it off. Like I'm not going to let that get the best of me because I still have to live for others. I have to live for my daughters. I have to live my life. So I
Exactly.
think that's how I've been able to cope and make it through.
Exactly. And I mean, it's a good thing that you recognize that you have to keep on living. And I think your wife would want that, especially that you have to be here to take care of your two beautiful daughters. And some people, I don't want to say that they get selfish, but it is an illness that they go through when they feel like they don't want to be here either, since their loved one is not here. You never know how that love from that other person was helping keeping that person strong and keeping that person alive. So that's why it's important to, continue to reach out to people, to other people, and surround yourself with people who love you and people who are going to hold you accountable for things that you do. And we're going to go to our song of hope. And some of the lyrics, I love this song. Some of the lyrics say, "Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence, or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak up at all? I can only imagine." Here is Tamala Mann with "I Can Only Imagine."
Can you only imagine? Can you imagine just standing before the King? I can only imagine what it would be like when I walk by your side. I could only imagine, what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I could only imagine to be surrounded by your glory. What will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I could only imagine. Yeah, I could only imagine. I could only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I could only imagine when all I will do is forever worship you. I could only imagine. I could only imagine to
covered 24/7.